at this point is what you do. And you don't need to go that high, for a running back. You don't need to go that high for a wide receiver, but tight end, you could go. So that is the first 9 picks. And then, like I said, we're only going to do 10. But the Denver Broncos are on the clock. And I was talking about them. And let me do a recap really quick. And I'll do the recap at the end. So the Denver Broncos is on the clock right now. And I said I don't think they're going to go quarterback. I know Drew Lock is sitting there. The kid out of Duke is sitting there as well. You still got, I think Elway would ride with Flacco for 2 to 3 years. That may sound crazy, but I do. I think he would, ride with him for that long. I think what they do, they stay on the defensive side, which is what they have done. They take another Michigan guy and they go with Devin Bush at linebacker. Add to the defense. If you go through number 11, the Bengals, and here's why. Number 11, the Bengals. Are they really ready to move on from Andy Dalton? Not just yet. We've seen what the Bengals would do. The owner will keep players around and around and around. They kept Marvin Lewis forever. So I don't think they're really going to move off of Andy Dalton. Green Bay, yeah, we know they're not. Now, Miami could. Miami could actually go quarterback. But they got Ryan Fitzmagic and he eating cake and all this stuff, so maybe they good with that. But that is a possibility. Atlanta Falcons, no, they're not going to get a quarterback. The Washington, they could. They could get a quarterback at that, but that still leaves you another quarterback out there, regardless of who they take, if they take Locke or the kid from Duke. Carolina, they're not going to get a quarterback. The Giants are back on the clock at 17. They are not going to, because they already got a quarterback. Minnesota already got a quarterback. Tennessee, Steelers, Seahawks, Ravens, Texans, Raiders again, Eagles, Colts, Raiders again, Chargers, Seahawks. I mean, this is all the first round. Green Bay, Rams, and then the Patriots. Patriots would be the scary part on it to see if they would take a quarterback at the end of the first round. But I think they would roll the dice and try and get the same guy that they want probably at the beginning of the second round if they can trade up and at that point trade up and get a quarterback then. So that's why I think they will go with a linebacker and then they'll roll the dice and try to get themselves a linebacker on defense. Von Miller, Brandon Chubb. Chris Harris wants a new deal. We don't know what happened with him, but get back to the way they did things before. Nice running game with Philip Lindsay and I can't even think of the kid out of Oregon right now, but Philip Lindsay, and then have a nice defense. And you got Joe Flacco, I think that could be a quarterback serviceable for the next couple years. So those are my 10 picks. Recap. Kyler Murray goes 1. Nick Bosa goes 2. Quinnen Williams goes 3. Rashawn Gary 4. Devin White 5. Dwayne Haskins 6. Taylor 7. Jawan Taylor 7. Montez Sweat 8. Hockenson goes 9. And, of course, last is to the Denver Broncos, Devin Bush. So we'll see how the draft goes and how it plays out. And we'll discuss how everything goes on throughout the draft and who did what, who did good, who got questions after the draft and all that stuff. So there you have it. First 10 picks on. I told you, we're not doing all 32 because we'll be here all night. And Lopan is already mad at me.
Indeed.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, though, we're going to take another break, and then we'll come back, finish up some football news, and then we'll talk about the second-round playoff games coming up in the NBA. So it is the Wait a Minute Show. Your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie. We'll be back.
We all hate when we have unexpected car problems. Well, I am here to tell you about a viable solution. Bay 11 Auto and my man, Melvin. You have emission problems? Brakes need changing? Transmission slipping? Is your car just driving sluggish? No problem is too big. I live on the other side of town and I drive over an hour to a guy that I trust. Melvin is honest, dependable, and definitely not in the business to break your pockets. Come see the official mechanic, Melvin, at Bay 11 Auto. You will be glad you did. You can reach him at 1455 General Arts Road, Conyers, Georgia, or 404-295-5715. That's 404-295-5715.
We don't take orders from super fools. We give them.
X gon' give it to you.
Any and all resistance will crumble. Nonsense. There's never been a threat
Squad
couldn't handle. It is the purpose of the
Squad
to align our infamous forces against the powers of good and defeat them, leaving us, the rulers of the world.
All music artists, lend me your ear. Looking for that hot beat to make your next hit? Go to FaroJaroMusic.com. Tired of paying for overpriced studio time for mediocre beats? Go to FaroJaroMusic.com. FaroJaroMusic.com offers industry quality hip-hop, trap, R&B, and pop beats that will take your creativity to the next level. We know it's hard to find dope beats out there, so don't waste any more time searching YouTube for whack beat-selling websites. Go to FaroJaroMusic.com today to cop the beat for your next hit. Mixing and mastering services available too. Once again, go to FaroJaroMusic.com. That's FaroJaroMusic.com for the hottest beats in the game.
Yo, what's good? This is Trey Frazier on Phil Staff. This is the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Make sure y'all tune in to us every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
Squad Network, the future of radio.
He's the brain of operations.
I'm telling you right now, book it!
And him, he's along for the ride. But together, they bring you sports like you've never heard before. The Wait a Minute Show, a new way of discussing today's trending sports topics. And now, back to the show with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie.
Indeed! Lopan, wake your butt up. Indeed! Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a close game going on right now. We're less than 5 minutes in the game, and of course, like I said, the Jazz is not going to go away easily. So it's a close game right now, 90-88. Houston is up. So yeah, they fighting. Before I move on to my next topic, let me go back to the Wait a Minute Show chat room and answer some questions, or actually read off some of your comments, I should just say. Mochi says, Eli just threw another interception and Chief Rocker worried about my team. Shaking my head. Mogabella says, Jelani, you doing the whole 32 teams. Laugh out loud. I'm sorry, but, I went to the top 10. That's it, top 10. Mo actually also asked, he says, Jelani, I would like to hear your pick for the Falcons. Well, I'll tell you this. If he could possibly fall to the Falcons. If he does, I think they will take him and Ed Oliver out of Houston. I've talked about Ed Oliver before. You just gave Grady Jarrett the franchise tag, so obviously you want him around. You're going to try and keep him around long term, or just to see if he can do it again. If he can, be productive like he was this past year, then he might get a new deal. But I think this is really Falcons need pressure up the middle to help out the guys on the edge. You got Takk McKinley on one side. Vic Beasley, let's just be honest. Vic had one good season, and I don't know what the answer is. And they had already picked up his fifth-year option, which I was surprised that they did that. I didn't think they were going to do it, but he was, a 15-sack guy one year, and then he followed it up with, I think, 2 sacks after that because someone thought it was smart to move him to the linebacker position. But at the same time, Vic has had problems getting off of blocks, because he's not as big, as you would want a defensive lineman to be. And he was using his speed at times, but he just, for where he got drafted, people are going to say he hasn't been getting the job done. And he's going to have another opportunity. I think this is going to be a prove it. If not, he'll be out of there. But to help him out, you get a guy that's in the middle that can do the same things, and you're expecting him to do it better than Grady Jarrett for them to be a problem in the middle. This team, the Falcons, has had problems stopping the run. And it's not getting just to the outside. It's running up the middle, on this team. And that is part of their weakness. So you have to address that. You have to take care of that. When you have a guy like Alvin Kamara that is sitting there with the New Orleans Saints, when you have a guy, and some people get upset, but I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and say it. When you got a problem like Christian McCaffrey sitting over there in Carolina, Tampa Bay, they don't have the problem like everyone else. They're trying to find the problem, so that hasn't been addressed just yet. But you got 2 problems in your division, and then you still got to see other teams that have been running the ball down your throat, and getting a guy like Oliver to pair him with Grady, and then hopefully you get the production out of the edges, out of Takk and out of Beasley, then maybe you got something there. So long story I gave, but I think Oliver, if he fell to him, I think the Falcons jump all over it. My man, Mo. Hopefully that answered your question. So we're going to stay in football real quick. And I talked about the Arizona Cardinals drafting Kyler Murray. And I was just saying, I probably wouldn't do it and just stick with Josh Rosen. And it's not a knock on Kyler's height, because I've said, can he play? If he can play, I don't care if he's 5 feet. If he can play, that's all that matters. But my follow-up question is Kyler Murray a Andrew Luck? Is Kyler Murray a Michael Vick? Is Kyler Murray a Peyton Manning? Or is Kyler Murray, and I hate to say it right now, because it is what it is right now, is a Matthew Stafford? These are all guys that got taken number 1. But guys like Andrew Luck, guys like Michael Vick, they were such a tremendous talent. Is Kyler Murray a tremendous talent? And I can't say 100% yes. I think he can play. I think he would do well in the league. But is he going to change your franchise? So if they do take him, I hope that's what they get, because that's what you're trying to get at the number 1 overall pick. But it's just like he's not, and it's a lot of quarterbacks that have come through. Jared Goff, and the list goes on and on and on, as far as like quarterbacks that got taken number 1. Jared Goff is a really, really, really good quarterback. But at the number 1 pick, they got Jared, and Jared still could be this. He's young. But guys like Andrew Luck, guys like Peyton Manning, it's like you saw it. You saw it and you was like, this is what's going to happen. And I'm just wondering, is this the same thing that the Arizona Cardinals are looking at? And why I say that is because there's no guarantee, because they're tying Cliff Kingsbury to Kyler Murray. There's no guarantee that Cliff Kingsbury will be around when Kyler Murray is done in the league. Peyton Manning.